Hello everybody, welcome to Smooth Nature. I'm Gary. Well, we're getting in close to the Indiana 2021 muzzleloader season. Shotgun season is about ready to wrap up. Not a lot of success. Some small ones, but nothing worth shooting. So what I picked up here recently is this. And this here is a CVA Bobcat. And if you're not familiar with that, they were mass produced for the chain stores like Walmart. And they did not put a lot of money into them. It's still a good barrel, still a good shooting system here. It's a CVA. I mean, they didn't cut that corner. This is the first one I've seen with a wood stock. Generally, they came with this. It's just a synthetic stock. I'm not a synthetic stock fan. Another good thing I like about this is it's open sights and it's short. So there's some area that I hunt that's really thick, and the long barrel that I have on my other gun is, you got to be ready for it. So I'm really eyeballing this project for a while and happened to come across this and just decided to jump on it. A couple things I want to do is, like I said, they were made just a flat line, bare knuckle muzzleloader. But I'm going to add some brass. I got a nose cap here. We'll try to get a finger guard on it. That's going to be some work. I don't like the plastic butt plate. We'll be taking that off probably. And another thing that I'm kind of leaning toward doing is replacing that 50 caliber barrel with a 54. So it's got a lot more knockdown, and I'm a fan of knockdown. But we're just going to get started with this project, and we're going to see where it goes. So here we go. Yeah, let's see if we can get this barrel off here. Wow, that's really set in there. Just gotta get that out of the way. Okay, what I'm going to do first of all, I'm going to strip this completely down and refinish this wood. It's got a real bad job of a lacquer on there. So we're going to just strip this down to bare wood and bring out that grain and do the best I can to make that look nice. Okay, so there you have it, bare stock. I do like this, so they went in and treated the inside. It just kind of helps with the powder flash, I guess. Cool. Alright, let's get to sanding this. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is put this nose cap in. We'll take this measurement you can see this. Can't go all the way because it's here's where the wood butts up. So we're just going to measure from that to the end. Alright. There we are. So you get that mark, and I'm going to have to go in. First I'll take it all the way around, and I'm going to come in with a chisel and just work that end off until the nose cap slides in. You can see the profile here. Try to get you there. So I just got to fill this area here up to that point. That's where the barrel comes in. So I just got to make this over to that point. We'll see how that turns out, I guess. Okay, so I got that line all the way around now. 2 centimeters. So now we're going to work on chipping that out. Now I got to these little notches here. I got to cut those out on the stock so that this will slide all the way in. So that's what I'll be doing now. So we got this. And we want this. So it's the actual flat of the barrel is what comes across here. So we're just going to notch that out and then be good to go. Okay, so that's a done deal. Got a good fit on that. So now I'm going to put the barrel in place. Find the pieces. There we go. Yeah. Ta-da! Okay, now I'm going to put these little screws in there, get that in place, and then I'm going to start marking the stock and getting that all to get together nicely, I hope. So I'm going to go ahead and bolt that in, and it's a done deal. Okay, those caps on. Turned out pretty good. Next thing that I've always wanted on a muzzleloader that I've never had is a little patch box. So I'm going to put that in next, and that's going to dress it up quite a bit. So it's getting there, one step at a time. Okay, so we're going to get some of the stuff out of the way. I don't know how it goes when you guys do a project, but when I do it, stuff just keeps accumulating. So, alright, so this is what we're doing next. I'm sure there's a system for this. However, I mainly go with the eyeball and the guesstimate. Okay, so we're going to get the set in. I got 2 screw holes. Those are going to be my center line. So to find that center line, I'm going to measure this, which is 5 inches across. Then I'm going to go up here 6 inches, because that's just a measurement I have in my head. We're going to measure that across. Look at that, 3 1/4, of course of wood. 3 5/8. There's a center line, there's a center line. Now if I take those 2 measurements, that's the center line of my stock. So now all I have to do is decide where I want this as far as that goes, and right there looks pretty good. I get them holes over a center line, hold that in place. Yep. Yeah, wouldn't you know? I got a screw. Let's try this. Okay, so I do have a mark here. So there's my my bowls. That helps. This thing is, it is somewhat curved on the top there to match that contour of this. So what I need to do now is get that outline. Yeah. So how I'm going to do that, I'm going to drill the 2 holes that I have now. I'm actually going to bolt this in place, and then I'm going to draw around the outline. That's the plan. We'll go with that for now. Hold it in place, and we're just going to trace this outline. There's no prizes for first place on this. You gotta go slow. At least I think you have to. Okay. So there we are. I'll take that out and commence to taking some wood out of it. Alright, so I got to get rid of this wood in here. So we're going to have to put our screws back in to locate that. Got a nice center line going through there though. So the project wasn't done, I guess. Just doing one. We're going to put that in. We'll go down there and put another one. And I'm not getting them tight. The only thing I'm doing is putting them in the holes so that it will they'll be located. Well, obviously I want the screws straight. Okay. So now I want to come here and trace the inside of this. This is the actual pan of that. And this also gives me the lock. Because this closes, there's a spring underneath, and there's got to be room for that tab to clear it underneath or it doesn't work. So that's another important measurement. Alright, so now we're going to take this back off, and I think we have it all. So the first order of business, I believe, is going to be this inner circle. It comes out handy because I already got my center line. So all you got to do is get a hole saw, get that diameter, and take that down about 2 inches. Yeah, about an inch. Alright, and then that'll help me inset this piece here for the spring. So our next step is to find the other center to get me a dead center for the hole saw, and then we're going to be making a hole. Okay, holes drilled. Now it's just a matter of taking the chisel, little bites, and taking it out. Alright, well, there's that. That's going to turn out pretty slick. Alright, so now we got a carve for this. See what that difference is? And closed is pretty flat. When you close it, it's flat. Right there in that middle, that's a pretty good drop. Yeah, over half an inch. Okay, that's what we got to do now. We're going to go ahead and get this relief. It's basically a trough cut. It'll start here high and then it'll slope as it goes down to make room for that spring to close. So that's the next step. Alright, so this is the high spot. This is the high end. We're sloping down. We're going to start here and take it that way. Okay, let's give it a press fit. Oh no. Yeah, let's pretty much have to go all the way to the bottom there. Alright, now we know. Alright, that fits pretty good. Our next step now is just to cut this out and get that to set flat. Nothing to it, nothing to it. So we're just going to go on the inside of the pencil line and we're going to score it. We're going to connect it with this. We're just going to use a gouge. We're going to do these radius of the gouge. Once again on the inside of the pencil line, just to give it a nicer fit. And I'm going to keep doing this. Nothing's going to change here. We'll go around the outside with the gouge and follow them lines. And then I'm going to come in with the flat chisel or maybe the small gouge and just take that relief out of it then. So when I'm done, I will show you how it turned out. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so there it is. And it works. Good deal. Well, I'm not going to lie about this. Kind of looks like I took that wood out with a claw hammer. Pretty rough. But hopefully as it ages, I get the finish on there, it'll become less noticeable. Give it some character maybe. But at any rate, I now have a patch box in my stock, and that's something that I've always wanted. And for my first one, I'm pretty happy with it. It could have come out a lot worse. So right now, this is what we got. We got the nose cap on, and we got the patch box. But to be honest, this is more like I don't know. The cap didn't go off, and now I got to put another one on box. Versus putting patches in it, it's going to hold caps. So we're going to move on now. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set the wedge plates. What it had on it was just a, I don't know what you want to call that, just a black anodized coating. I do have some brass ones, so we're going to set those in next, and hopefully that's going to turn out better. This is a pretty good learning experience, but like I said, it looks like I did the carving with a claw hammer, and it's pretty rough. But that's my learning experience. Welcome to my learning curve, people. Excuse me. Okay, so I got that traced with my knife, and now we just got to get the wood out. Sounds pretty easy, don't it? Did make this pretty handy dandy little tool. Where are we at? There we are. So it's just a piece of carbide. There we go. So we're going to see about getting the wood out with that. Go a little slower, maybe be a little gentler. I don't know. It hasn't seemed to be working too well so far. I am my worst enemy. I've said those words many times. If I could just learn to be patient and finish with the pace that I started with, these projects would be so much easier and probably turn out so much better. So this one come out a lot better, and I'm somewhat impressed by it. I really am. The screws, might shorten the screws a little bit, I guess, but I'm pretty happy with this one. Ta-da! Voila! There we go, people. Okay, now we'll just put these screws in, and then we're going to see the barrel, the wedge is actually going to fit in there, the tendon, I guess is the word I'm looking for. So we're going to try to fit in that barrel next and see how much of these screws we're going to have to trim down to get that to work. But I'm going to say that I think they're touching. Oh. This is some of my better work right here, and it's getting easier. So I'm pretty happy with that. Ta-da! Alright, so let's try fitting that barrel in next. And we're going to need pieces, parts. Got too many pieces and not enough parts sometimes. Okay. Would you look at that? There we go. The wedge fit in. I don't have to trim them screws. I got enough sticking out on the other side here. That's a good solid wedge. And it looks good too. It now sets flush. So I think that's all the brass that I'm putting on there for now. I think we're just going to have to start sanding it now and working on the finish part. Deciding what I want to do. Got hickory here. It's a nice piece of wood. So I'm going to try to keep that grain there and not hide it. So let's just start sanding and we'll move in that direction now. Okay, so I was just about done putting some finishing sanding on it. I remembered the butt plate. So now we're going to put this in, and then it'll be done. This should be pretty simple. We're just going to have to cut that out to the contour and to get that fit. So what I'm going to do is find my center line again, and then I'm going to start from there and work out and slowly just put the piece in and see what I need to put where. It's going to be a long process. I don't expect this to get done anytime soon, but I think it's really going to help it then. So that's our next one, and then we can go back to finish sanding this. Line up the center marks. Okay, this a little bit longer. Alright, right there. It's pretty close. So now, so now I got to connect these lines from the top to there to the bottom. So I need a bit of a curvature. What I'm going to do for that is I'm going to cut a piece of wood and use that for a jig. So, okay, plan D, because this just seems easier to me. So what I'm going to do, just a piece of coat hanger. We're going to put that on the back, inside, or however you want to put it. And then we're going to bend this to match that contour. Alright, all we need is a rough idea because we're going to be sneaking in on this one. Yes, that's what we have right there. I got my contour now. And I should be able to transfer that to the stock. that mark. We got a mark here on the, okay, so we still got our mark for how much we have to take off. So we're going to put the outside edge of this bend on that mark. And there we go. That's how much we're taking off. That's probably clear as mud, wasn't it? Alright, so that's what we got to do then. So now I just got to cut that and get it close, and then we're going to start working from there. And you get to see this. That's amazing. So now we're just going to get a chisel with all this mass tool laying around my workshop, and we're just going to break that off. See how easy that was? And we're going to continue doing that until we have that contour fully intact. Alright, so nothing to see here. I'm going to break this off and start that contour. Alright, so we got the basic shape here. Now I'm just going to take the wood rasp and start manually working it down. Okay, this is what we got. I turned the camera off. There's just way too much sawdust flying in here, and I don't feel like having to buy another camera. That's pretty hard on them. This is the fit we got. It's pretty good. I'm somewhat surprised by that. Yep, not bad at all. That is good. Okay, let's get a spot right through there. There we go. Alright. Okay, we're going to get this bolted on, and we're going to have to do a little bit of profiling to get that to all match, but what we started with, that's not bad at all. So we'll get back with you shortly. Okay, so what I've done is just a piece of oak, cut it at a square, it's probably 5/8 by 5/8. Then I took that square, turned my saw blade at 45 degrees and ran it back through. And I'm just going to leave it there. I like those sharp corners. I'm going to sand it now and then start putting the hardware on it. Alright, so next up, as you can see, I got the really rough octagonal shape. I'm going to keep that. So now we got to put an end on here to put the fittings on it. And for that I'm using this. This is a 38 special shell casing. And that's just going to go on just like that. Of course I'm going to put a pin through it. And then not cut a slot there for it to pull out. And then I'm also going to drill and tap. Take a primer out and drill and tap it for 1032. And that way I can put my accessories in. I have the, if I give a good example here, like the worm, if I have to pull a patch out, or I can even put the jag on and right in the end. So at this point we're going to knock that primer out and then tap it. Okay, so I'm going to use the same boiled linseed oil that I used on the stock. Get a rag here. Time to go get some more. Oh yeah. I wanted to finish this before I put the pieces on. And you might say, well, why not do that? Because epoxy is not going to stick to that. Well, I'm not going to use epoxy. I'm just going to put the end on, and I'm going to put a brass nail through it to pin it together and then shape it down. The only thing I'm going to use this ramrod for is putting bullets in, and that's it. Might use it as a cleaning to put the worm on and pull out a patch once in a while if I have to. But as far as use, the only thing it's going to see is just pushing the balls in. Cleaning, I have another brass cleaning rod that I use just because I've had too much bad luck. Like if pulling balls or whatever out of a barrel, and you put that on ball puller on the end of this ramrod, it always pulls that tip off. I have yet not to see it do that. So I'm going to get this wood good and sealed, and then we're going to put the end on. Alright, so now we're going to put the two together. Okay, that's a good press fit there. So we'll trim them curls off, and we're going to put the pin through it. Okay, so there's that. Now let's get the pin in it. Well, can we see that? Okay, so you can see the nail. Okay, so there's the nail head, and there's the piece that I pinged. This end's going into the barrel. Like I said, this will be the ramrod section. Excuse me. This will be the section with the jag that will push the bolt in, and that's it. But this is our ramrod, finished and complete. So now we're going to see how this all works together. Okay, so you ready? There we are. So what we got? So there's as much brass in here as I could possibly get without it not being brass. So, pretty excited about this. And you would think that I'd be done with this, but right down here, I'm thinking about doing a wire inlay now, right off this point here. So, I think after that, then I'd be fully happy with this. I'd be to the point where I can say, hey, I'm going hunting with this now. About a week to go before muzzleloader. We're still going to get this sighted in, but I gotta say I'm pretty impressed that this came out of my hands. Brass butt plate. So yeah, we'll do that wire inlay, and that'll be the last nail. Then we're done. I promise. Scout's honor. Oh boy. Okay, that's what we're doing next. Okay, so here's what we got. Finished product. And 54 caliber barrel. Got the nose cap in. We got the plate set in the side. Got the cool patch lock box in. And then the brass butt plate. So they even put the finish on. I went with the boiled linseed oil for the finish. Rounded all the corners off as best I could, as best as I wanted it. And then just put a coating of boiled linseed oil on it. That'll seal it up real nice. And I like the linseed oil because as it ages, it gets on its own, it takes on a different tint and kind of antiques a little bit. Next up, we're going to try to get this trigger guard and everything up to stock. Alright, so this is what we got. I went ahead and did a wire inlay around the cap box there, and I really like this. Yeah, open, close. Gives a nice detail to it, makes it personal. So the only thing left, I didn't like this trigger. So I was trying to come up with something that would fit in with, you know, going all this trouble, the brass. So what I've come up with is a failed attempt. I tried to do a brass overlay, and I melted the trigger guard on the first one. So that kind of led to my next idea, is that I just want to cut that brass guard off. As you can see, it's down 2 pieces. So this I want to see about trimming down even more. There's a screw that goes through the center right here, and that's what actually holds it in place. There's nothing on the ends. So I want to see about cutting these ends down and then going ahead and putting a brass trigger guard in. So something like that when I'm done. So that's the game plan. Let's see how it goes. I might have to tear this apart to see what we got underneath. So yeah, I hope you're ready. Yeah, you get the screw out. Boy, that's a good fit. Alright, plenty of room down here, as you can see. So this one, what we're going to do is we're going to mark this, and then we're going to actually cut off the ends of it. All I need is that trigger and that little screw hole, so I can actually take down quite a bit of this. If I can just find me a pencil now. There we go. Alright, so actually what I need, looks like I might have to keep some of that. Alright, so there's not a whole lot to play with back here. I'll take off about half of that. But up front here, there's quite a bit. Like I said, I only need that screw hole. So let's just take that off the back of that guard. Where I cut the guard off, we're going to take that off. And then we'll take that off back, half of that back here. So let me get this cut and then we'll start fitting. Okay, so as happens sometimes when I do these videos, I can hit record button and keep doing stuff, and the memory card gets full. It doesn't record, and I didn't see that coming. Here we are. This is what we got. Finished product. Trigger guard. I got that set in. Yeah, got all the way to the end now. The ramrod, it's not round. You probably can't see that. But it's actually got flat sides to it. That makes it easier to grip. I went ahead and put another piece of brass on that end to keep it from splitting. We got the jag on that end as well. And it's pinned, which won't come out. So this project, 54 caliber muzzleloader, it's going to be getting used this year, probably 3 days from now. Season comes in, and I'm pretty excited. We'll be taking this out tomorrow and checking the sights on it, and we'll get some footage of that too. But this is one of the easier projects that I had. The other seven muzzleloaders that I'll be working on, they get pretty intense. One of them I actually be making a stock from scratch. So I'm going to say I'm looking forward to that, but I don't know that I am yet. We're building skills as we go. There's some parts of this that I really learned a lot. Some of it looks like I put it in with a claw hammer. Some of it turned out better than I thought it would. So I was impressed with some parts of this. It's all a learning experience. I'll be taking what I've learned and applying it to the other projects coming up, and I'm pretty excited. The last one should be top shelf. Okay, so we're ready to go. It's all loaded. 95 grains. Shooting a 54 caliber ball. 539, something like that. So, alright, so we're loaded up to go. 54 caliber, 95 grains of powder, and we'll put the earring protection on, and we got a 50-yard shot here. So we're just going to see where it's hitting for now. There we go. Let's pull it all the way back. There we go. Whew. That's a lot of kick. Yeah, got my money's worth on that one. Not ready. I think we hit our target, so let's see what happens. Okay, so we're gonna try this again. That time I was just trying to hit a water heater, which I hit. I got a little bit smaller target. We're gonna try this. I'm actually gonna go left-handed this time because I'm normally a left-handed shooter. A lot of road traffic. So we're gonna try left hand, which is my favorite side, and we're gonna give that a whirl. We're even gonna cock it this time. Woo, good eyes. Okay, so finished product. Bada zoom, bada bing. Nothing's loose. Still good shooter, nice and tight. So we're gonna call this one done, and we're gonna try this out come this weekend. Muzzleloader season comes in. So I'm Gary, Smooth Nature. Thank you for watching.